Not really. So I guess whenever everyone is ready, I'll do a quick countdown. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Work, work.
So one of the immediate advantages of doing New Game Plus is that we can skip cutscenes, which is really nice because else this would take about 7 hours to do, and we don't have time for that.
Yeah, lots of cutscenes here.
We could explain plot, but that's a little bit difficult to do because we're going to be sequence breaking a lot. So we're just going to leave that as is.
Not a lot of the run is done in order at all.
First thing that's important to note is you might notice that I'm dashing a lot at the start. Amaterasu has a way of moving which we call speed. You have half speed and you have full speed. Whenever you dash, you start at half speed, and after a while you go into full speed. And you want to have full speed as often as possible. Another thing you might notice me doing is I'm jumping in and out of cutscenes. This is called speed restoration. When you jump into a cutscene, it stores your speed, and when you jump out of it, it restores your speed. Why? I don't know. So this is the brush. With the brush, you can manipulate the world to draw constellations. And by drawing constellations, you get new brush powers. For instance, the one that we just got, that's called Restoration, which we can use to restore or replace missing things, like this beautiful river.
Very nicely drawn.
So maybe a little bit of plot still to kind of get you going. So we are a wolf god called Amaterasu, and as a wolf god we have the ability to change the world with the brush. However, we have lost all of our brush powers, and to defeat the giant evil at the end of the game, we need to retrieve them. There are 13 brush powers. I think we will only be collecting 7, however, because ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, we're pretty much only gonna get the brush powers that are required to actually beat the game, and that's mostly because of a boss rush at the end.
So here we get another new brush power, and I always mess this up. This is Power Slash. Guess what it does? It slashes.
Powerfully.
So we're coming up to our very first skip of the game. Blink and you'll miss it. We're going to skip a fight. And we skipped a fight, everyone!
Woo! Woo! He's gonna do it again, man.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. We're going to do it again, like almost in exactly the same way. Look at how skillfully I do this. Here we go, guys. So we enter it, and we skipped it! Woo! So the thing about triggers in this game is that they're usually ridiculously small. So we'll walk around or jump over just about any trigger we can. And for instance, that way we can skip fights, skip cutscenes, and so on and so forth.
So you want to do a roll call? Or?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
we should do a
suppose we
roll
could
call
do
real quick. So, I'm Canon 11.
I'm Critical Sid.
I'm WedC517.
And I am Kaiserado.
And he is a fantastic hat.
He indeed does.
So now we restore the village, and the game expects you to do a lot of things here before you can leave, and you get, quote unquote, you get a new brush power, but you technically already have it. But we're too lazy for that, so we're just going to skip everything. And we're going to do that with an awesome glitch that I will leave to my couch to explain, because I'm going to need to perform it.
Alright, well in that case I'll take this. So what he's going to be doing is something that we like to call the KT glitch, and it is essentially an infinite jump. It is quite tricky to pull off, however, but basically what he does is he jumps into the air. That was very nice, by the way. Second try. Really good. He jumps into the air and then he switches Karmic Transformers, which are essentially skins for Annie to make her look differently. And that you get those from beating the game with reaching certain things. But yeah, whenever you do that, the game thinks, as long as you're above solid ground, that you are on the ground for a single frame. And on that frame, you can then do a ground dash, which you can then easily jump out of. Either like early to get a bunch of extra height, or a bit later to also get some momentum. And yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that glitch this run.
Also, of course, karmic transformation stands for KT, which is why we call it KT glitch.
Exactly.
You also get a couple of other things from New Game Plus, and we're going to equip those and use those right now. So we're going to equip some really strong weapons and a very overpowered item. And then we're going to use another overpowered item. So what I just used was the Exorcism Slip L. It basically deals a lot of damage to every enemy in the arena. And we're going to be using that a lot to cheese our fights, because fighting normally is slow.
Yeah, these are all items that can be brought over from New Game Plus. Yeah, like the strongest sets of weapons that you can bring over. Unfortunately, the like story-related best versions of weapons and whatnot, you can't bring those over. But
One of the major things we carry over is the string of beads, though, which
Exactly.
you have to collect 100 throughout playthroughs, which, when all of them are together, you of course can equip it, and it gives you 10 times damage and invincibility.
and unlimited ink, so he can draw however much he wants. But for the most part, he'll be using exorcism slips because they're just too good.
They are extremely overpowered.
Even in new game speedruns, you see a lot of exorcism slips. They kind of made them too good. You could just hit the entire arena. The large ones, at least.
So this is actually kind of funny. You're supposed to have learned that you have Sunrise to be able to draw the sun here. However, because the brush power is never technically gotten, whenever we need to use it to advance the plot, we can just use it without actually having gotten the ability. It's really nice.
And yeah, Amy herself is like the god of the sun, so that's kind of story-related why she already has it. You just kind of gotta realize it.
I mean, you would.
Yeah. You would. We kind of skipped that part. It's time for our boy.
Time for everyone's favorite hero.
Here goes nothing. No! Susano!
Now for the best move.
Exploding implosion!
And now for probably one of the worst parts of the game. This is Ball. Ball has some very precise collision checking, so moving it around is just really bothersome. I make it look easy though. Or not.
Except
Never
for
mind.
that.
Never mind.
So close. to
I
being
spoke
really
too
low.
early. Ah, there we go.
Never trust the ball.
Never trust them.
Oh, please.
But yeah, Susanoo is kind of a recurring character throughout the story. Unfortunately, that's like one of the only times we really see him in any percent.
Yeah, that
And he has those
all-important
little-
character ball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Susanoo.
Oh. My bad.
So here we
Balls.
get the next rush power. This is Bloom. You use it to bloom trees. And the main way we're going to be using is to bloom these guardian saplings. Now guardian saplings kind of like take the evil away, and that way we can continue through the game. And we're going to do another skip. Nice.
Very nice. First try.
So we just jumped over another fight trigger, because who needs fights?
Exactly.
Yep.
As the run goes on, you'll gradually get more KTs to just skip everything, and also just another fight skip. Yeah! Woo! Woo!
Hard stuff right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So now he's gonna bloom this Guardian sapling right here, which will get rid of the entire cursed area that would otherwise like slowly drain your ink and your health.
So now once again the game is like, hey, you got this new area, let's explore it. But no thank you.
Thanks, but no thanks.
We're just gonna skip everything.
Normally here they'd want you to be grabbing 2 brush techniques, which would be Lily Pad and Cherry Bomb. And there's going to be some workarounds that we're going to have to do later, at least for Cherry Bomb, but we'll get to that when it comes.
Yeah, and a little workaround for Lily Pad as well. But yeah, Cherry Bomb essentially allows you to break open certain passages with the Cherry Bomb. It's also quite useful in combat in New Game. Unfortunately, for Cherry Bomb, we have way better options in New Game Plus.
Yeah, same thing with Lily Pad. Normally use that to get across water to other places, but we have a different strat that we use to get around that.
Yep. Unfortunately, one of the places where you need Cherry Bomb to break open the passage is right here to get to the Guardian sampling of Agatha Forest. So instead, Kinnan is going to have to do a bit of a workaround here by using his wall jumps to like get high enough here, do a KT to get even higher, another KT. He's going to get out of bounds, and he's going to bloom the tree from out of bounds. Had to do a bit of camera work there in order to properly get to the sapling. Fortunately, like the brush power is based on the camera. And also, fortunately, it clears the cherry bombing.
Up here is another fight skip, which is Waka skip, actually.
Yeah, very important character to the story, but what
have
story?
time for it.
Who cares about story?
So now we're gonna go up here, and this serves very little purpose. And I probably shouldn't be talking while doing KTs, but whatever. So we're going up here, and we're gonna instantly leave again. So what I just did there was activate what is called a mermaid spring, and they'll become useful a little later on for fast traveling. So it's very important that we activate them. And once again, the game wants us to do a lot of things, but we're just gonna skip everything.
Yeah, so this is kind of a different variation of the KT skip. It's called a KT, and continuing the SGDQ tradition.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get a first try. But yeah, with the way
There we
KT
go.
works, there we go. You have to kind of be above ground for the game to consider you like on the ground. But for some reason, when you're really close to water and then you change your comic transformer, then you can just infinite jump without actually having to, you know, do a dash on the right frame or anything. So. But because you're that close to the water, it's also quite easy to piddle.
And if
fall
you
into.
start a KT on the ground, anytime you go over the water, you can't do it anymore. It just like instantly takes away your ability to do it. So
Yeah, because you can't really jump on water, so
Exactly.
that's kind of how that works.
So right here is another small workaround that we have to do for not having Cherry Bomb.
Yep.
So if you look at the map, you can see the Guardian sapling like all the way at the top there, and we're not going to be going there because for some reason we need to go over here first and clear something before we can actually bloom the tree.
One of the very few instances where you actually, you know, the game forces you to do something before you can progress
Yeah.
to where you want to go.
The very interesting thing about this, however, is that there is one version of the game, the Japanese Wii version, where you actually do not need to do this.
Really?
Yes, you can
Yeah.
just like instantly go up to the tree and bloom it.
by the way, that was Waka. In case you missed it.
Hello and goodbye, Waka.
This guy we skipped earlier.
I'm most sad we don't get to see Pillow Talk.
something something string of beats, something 10 times power,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get destroyed.
A term you might be hearing every once in a while for like boss fights in this game won't really be boss fights, but more of whacking, just because of how overpowered we are.
There are still definitely some fights that have some pretty cool
Yeah.
strategies, mainly Orochi,
Those will come in time.
but we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, now that he's cleared Waka, he can go and draw the sapling. Or bloom it, rather.
Oh,
There we go.
nice.
Oops.
Clapping for almost falling down.
I would have had the KT back up. That would
Yep.
have been really annoying.
So yeah, usually when Kinnan is doing KTs, like we'll be doing the talking because, well, it's kind of a hard trick. Like, sure, we do it a lot in the run, but that doesn't make it easy.
It doesn't mean it's not frame perfect.
Exactly. But fortunately, with the way you have to do it and with the menus, it's pretty good to get into a rhythm.
It just becomes a timing trick, and once you get used to it, you get a feel for it. So this is a demon gate. When you go under it, you have to fight.
Some enemies you actually have to use specific powers on, like this guy. And that one we just ink so that he drops down and doesn't go on the ground.
Now the reason why we did this demon gate was to restore another mermaid spring. So we got ourselves a new fast travel point to use later on. And now we're gonna go over to Sasa Sanctuary. Now we're gonna do some funky stuff in Sasa Sanctuary. And since I'll be having to do KTs.
Yes. So the funny thing about maps in, or rather different rooms on the same map in this game is that those different rooms, like insights areas and whatnot, they actually get stored like on exactly the same screen, but way below, like way below.
It varies.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're in different areas.
Okay, so here we jumped over the loading zone, and now we jumped out of bounds. So right now we're falling down to where the stored area of the Saso Sanctuary is.
And he's just gonna
Just fall right
inside.
in.
That skips a nice little side quest where you have to like.
And
So
all-
there's this cool family of mafia owls. Okay, we just skipped all of them.
Sparrows, they're sparrows.
The sparrows, my bad. I'm bad at birds.
I mean, it's not like you really have to know in a New Game Plus run.
Yeah.
First frame jump. Damn it.
But yeah, you go here to get the water spout power up.
So this is a digging game. There are like 4 of these in the entire game. We're only gonna see this one. The idea of a digging game is to dig as fast as possible, and we want to get this green guy all the way at the bottom. Because he's gonna show us the final place to dig. If I could do a power slash, would be great.
Using Bloom on him speeds him up. It's quite nice.
Bork.
Good collision.
Or you're not going fast enough.
Bork, bork.
So by digging, we will make a like a hot spring appear again, and that gives us water spout. That was very interesting.
Good star placement.
Yeah. So with water spout, we can control water like this, and like this.
Basically, now we're waterbenders.
So unfortunately, we also have to get out of here. And the fastest way to do that is to just KT back and walk out. Otherwise, we had to like sit through a bit of the story segment and get the mermaid spring inside Sasa Sanctuary to activate. But yeah, takes too long. Just infinite jump out.
So next coming is probably one of the skips that skips the most content in the game.
Yeah.
And it looks really, really easy.
This skips an entire story arc in the game, actually.
Yeah, a very big one. So far we've skipped three dungeons in the game, and we're just gonna save some of them for later. But right now, you're not supposed to get to this until after you beat a certain story arc. But we're gonna be using a trick that involves swimming, coming up to get over to this edge, this bridge over here.
Let's hope I don't drown.
Cross fingers.
Yeah, so what's coming up is called corner glitch, and when you're in the water and you just kind of like roll up against the right corners, the game will automatically make you jump, which avoids no drowning, which is quite good. And then he's just gonna get up here. It's okay, please. Nice. That was a very smooth
That was very
checkpoint
good.
skip.
And now we're out of the first arc of the game.
Yep. Having beaten exactly 0 bosses and 0 dungeons. Having entered 0 dungeons.
Oh, that's even worse.
Once again, a cursed area here, though, so gonna have to find a sapling. But there's also gonna be a fight in the way.
So it might be kind of weird that he's going up into a cursed area here, but this is also actually to avoid another fight trigger that is down beneath on the path below. And then another skip for a cherry bomb.
But to be fair, you do the same even if you did have cherry bomb,
Yeah,
'cause it's just
true.
faster.
It is faster.
Yeah. And the main reason why it's faster is because we can skip transferring the water from one basin. So we just do it like this.
The camera angle tends to get really weird there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, a little bit too fast. Oh, come on.
How did that miss?
I don't know. It wasn't blue smoke, so I guess that's the problem. From little sapling to giant tree. Oh.
And there we go. Hiroshima Coast. Good music, boys.
So remember that earlier on in Sasa Sanctuary, we went out of bounds to go into an interior area. Well, in this area, there's also an interior area. So we're gonna do something really fun to get out of bounds. So if I can get it first try. There we go.
Nice.
Obviously
Nice.
intentional.
We call that one stair clip for obvious reasons. You just walk into the right spot and you clip out of bounds.
Yep.
All right, so here we're falling down into the dojo, and this is where we're going to learn our double jump. So this will make it so when we're KTing, we can get to places a lot faster and quicker.
Yep.
Basically, the entire run so far has been getting to this point as quickly as possible. Because this halves the amount of KTs we have to do, which is pretty crazy.
And oh boy, are you gonna have to do a lot of KTs.
Yes.
A lot.
You can do a quick donation.
All right, and we actually do have a little bit of a challenge for you, Kenan. $52 donation from 520117.
Oh no.
I think you know what's coming. Hey, Kenan, wishing you good luck on the run and hoping your run turns out better than mine did. Do our small community proud. How much do I have to donate for bufferless Gale's Shrine skip?
That's a hard one.
He's gonna have to pay up for that, yo.
Yeah.
I would say at least $1 million.
That is not marathon safe.
No.
Well, I can do a couple, but not completely.
Yeah.
Right, so this also skips quite a large area of the game just jumping over this doorway.
You normally need to get a key from somebody in order to gain access to this area. And then that requires like a dungeon, a dungeon and a half in order to
Yeah.
get it.
Dungeon and a half and a major boss fight.
And the reason he's going here now is to get our boy Orca.
Hello, Waka. Goodbye, Waka.
Yeah.
By the way, Waka says there that we've been so terribly slow in getting here that he already fixed the area for us.
Yeah, man, go faster. What are you doing?
Trying my best.
But yeah, he's gonna get Orca, which is our water transportation.
But first, we're going to have a shopping menu here to buy some mermaid coins, which will allow us to use the mermaid springs that we've been activating throughout the past. So we'll be able to warp back to the places.
Yep.
I suppose we could also kind of mention the scrolls going around on the screen. And
Oh yeah.
one of the equips that we actually put on at the start is a bell to make it so that those scrolls are arena fights, and those are used to avoid, or like the bell is used to avoid the fights so that the scrolls don't go towards you.
Hey.
Orca.
Orca.
And goodbye.
Also,
Goodbye, Orca.
also, yeah, drawing a circle for the sake of plot again.
Yeah.
So now we're finally done with setting everything up. So we are going to backtrack. 'Cause who doesn't love some backtracking?
And just to make clear, we're getting Orca now is because in order to like get him, you need to make it morning or rather day by using the sun power up. But when we first actually need him, we need it to be night. So it's better to activate him now, go do some other stuff, make it night. But first,
Yeah.
Gale Shrine.
Yep.
And a nice little skip we like to call Gale Storm is coming up.
Galestorm, Cherry Bombless. Either
Yeah.
one really works.
Now this is gonna take quite a while.
Yeah.
Roughly about 8 to 10 minutes.
Something like that.
I hope 8 minutes and maybe less.
8 to 10 minutes,
minutes
of
would be
straight
nice.
KTs.
Yeah. And which might make you wonder, is that even worth it? And yeah, the amount of optional, optional stuff that it skips, that it actually makes it still save a bunch of minutes.
It saves about 5 minutes from what I remember.
Exactly.
At least
I believe
5
so.
At
minutes.
least 5.
Depending on how good your Gilstorm is.
Yep.
And after seeing the skip, you'll find it kind of funny that it saves 5 minutes.
Well, there's this old gigantic fetch quest involving this village
Yeah.
to like make it uncursed and like get all of her
Gotta-
dogs together.
Gotta grab a bunch of dogs.
You know, to get all the Canaan warriors and retrieve their Satomi orbs that we're supposed to use to get into the Gale Shrine. But we don't have time for that.
Exactly. But yeah. Yeah, right now it's good.
Could probably be now.
Because right now he's gonna into the Gale Shrine and the fun begins.
Yep.
This is gonna be rather tedious, but first things first, he's gonna do some KTs to get out of bounds. And once he's out of bounds, he still has to avoid an invisible wall, which is gonna
And
get past.
He should be past the invisible wall now. And he'll be entering out of the box where the room lies. And we'll be able to get kind of a scope of what he's doing. So, our goal, if you see the pond up there, that is the bottom of the dungeon that we're trying to get to, and we are trying to reach the top of it.
Yeah, that little L blue light. That's what we're heading towards
That-
right now.
And
Yep.
right at the top of the dungeon is a brush power up called Gale Storm, which we need in order to like activate one of the later areas of the game, as well as for a boss.
For the boss rush
at
at
the
the
boss
end.
rush at the end, yeah.
But I think for now, we can probably do some donations because it'll just be a lot of this.
Just before we kick it over to donations,
yeah.
let me just give you a good like estimate of how many KTs you have to do in a row here, how many frame perfect infinite jumps. It's about 100.
Yeah.
He's gonna be doing about 100 of these. So yeah, if we have any donations, good time.
Thank you. We have a $50 donation from Anonymous. He says, "Hi, Kinnan. Greetings from back home. I hope you have a great time out there. Good luck on the run, and here's hoping for a good gale storm. Donation goes to Runner's Choice, unless he wants to save the animals, in which case, kill him." Kinnan, KY, and all the others for keeping this game alive and pushing it to the limit. Have a godlike run. Booyah! Bork, bork! Booyah!
Bork, bork.
Bork. Bork.
We have a $200 donation from Meg McAttack, who says, "Save the animals, reverse the Tetris." And to counter that, a $150 donation from a regular Bob that says, "This is to counteract the announcer's bias. Kill the animals, kill them all."
It's a high donation, man. Round of applause for those donations, right?
Nope.
Nope.
We have a $10 donation from Java124. "GDQ is always a great place to see good games. Loving Okami and loving the super amazing Kinnan. Keep doing what you do. You're absolutely amazing. Bark, bark." Good luck, buddy. Greetings from Spain. P.S. Kept awake just for doing this. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. We have a $10 donation from Jasper. "Shoutouts to my boy Kinnan11. VSG crew represent. Hope you and Sniper are enjoying the GDQ so far. Good luck and have fun with the run." We have a big $300 donation from Squishy Flan.
Nice.
"So glad that I can still watch while working overseas this GDQ. I'm glad that I can catch Okami, a game that me and my family have loved for years. Here's to Kinnan and Amy, that they can keep rushing away the darkness in the world." Have a $50 donation from Delaria. "Congratulations, Mr. Metroid host. You did a great job pronouncing my name. I actually fell asleep, but I'm ready to pay up. As promised, another $50 for this great cause, and good luck and have fun. Can you do it too, new host?" Not sure. We have a $5 donation from Kona Rican. "That Amaterasu Perler is too adorable. Must donate for it." As a reminder, that is one of our prizes that are available. Minimum of $5 for the Chibi Amaterasu Perler. We have a $100 donation from Nate248. "I have fond memories of watching my brother play Okami, all 60 hours of it, over the course of an entire summer. So I can't wait to see it broken down into an hour and a half. Good luck, everyone."
All right, so I think we're nearing a bit over the halfway point. Up.
Yeah, you thought it was gonna be over, but no.
Nope. Right now, all we're seeing is the shadows at the bottom of the
Yeah,
area that
you're
we're
starting
going
to kind of be able to make out the dungeon.
So right now, so what our objective is that we're supposed to be going to the top of a windmill, and this is like a giant tower you have to climb up. That has like 3 floors, and it should be coming into view shortly, but it's
Yeah,
still quite a ways up.
We should start being able to see through the mountain very soon. You'll be able to see where we're trying to reach. Yeah.
It's just starting coming to view.
Yep.
But yeah, for now, keep the donations coming.
Yeah.
All right, we have a $50 donation from Kevin Story. "Hey guys, I've been watching Games Done Quick since 2015, but I've never been able to catch an Okami run live, so I'm interested to see how this plays out. Also, shout out to my Okami loving friend Bree." We have a $150 donation from WombatMan170. "I wanted to say you are all awesome, and I am deeply appreciative of your efforts to provide assistance in need. Have fun, game on, and let me know how I can donate my time for the next GDQ." We have a $25 donation from Queso. "Longtime watcher, first-time donor. Stayed up late just to watch Okami. I played it for the first time this past month and instantly fell in love. Good luck on the run, you big furball." Also, I gotta ask a question that's on everybody's mind. Kinnan, are we there yet?
Well, as you can see, our objective is that
Yeah.
part
you
that's
can
sticking out, that
actually
platform.
see it now. Now you can't, but
Is yeah. every once in a while you just kind of have a bit of a drop. You kind of get into a good rhythm with Gilstorm, but yeah, that also means that if you fall out of rhythm once, you usually drop like quite a bit.
This gives you a fairly general idea over the whole run that you'll go in and out of rhythm with KTs generally.
Definitely starting to get close though, so I'd say like 3 more donations.
Yeah.
I did want to remind everyone again, so we're talking about save kill a little bit here. Right now, Kill is winning despite the bias that seems to be showing right now. Kill's winning at $5,534. Save is a little bit behind, $4,719. So if you want to kill the animals, keep going. If you want to save the animals, you need to make up a little bit of ground here, about $800 or so. Couple of donation incentives again. Don't forget the Mirror's Edge Catalyst incentives coming up for the Easter egg, about $1,500 out of 5,000, so be sure to get those ones in. We also have coming up the awesome Assault Android Cactus character choice coming up, so be sure to get donations in for that as well.
Okay, so we're actually getting pretty close now. The music changed, camera angle is changing, and Kinnon's actually going to be setting up for another trick at the very end of this long line of KTs, which we call Void Warp.
Yeah, so right at the top of the windmill, or rather in the middle of the windmill at the top of the tower, there is a circular trigger that will start the sequence to get the Gilstorm power up.
So this building, or like this platform, is in the shape of an octagon, and the cutscene around it is in the shape of a circle. So there are very small spots around the circle, or the octagon, that you can actually hit the cutscene from, and he just got it right.
There we go.
So right now, Amy is just falling down and everything, and this is kind of look funky compared to how it's supposed to look. Kind of have to wait to void back in, or void out and warp back in.
So you might have noticed as well that I quickly tapped the brush, and that causes me to actually void out. If I don't do that, I soft lock the game and I have to restart the game from the very start.
Fortunately, he can't see the cancellation well anyway, but he got it first try anyway. Nice drawing. And what that did is, because you voted out, it puts you back at the very point where, for the first time, where you were last on the ground before you voted out.
Instead of as you would usually do, you start at the very top, at the top of the platform. Because he never actually touched the platform, he just spawns back down at the bottom of the map, making it so he can just leave, saving about 40 seconds over what was used to be done.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it skips having to jump back off the platform, falling
Yeah.
down, and then going out of the load zone down to the lower one.
It skips doing the hardest KT ever.
but yeah, that marks the end of Gilstorm, and he now has the power up. So nicely done. Woo.
Did I miss anything, by the way?
Kwanzaa donated.
I heard some laughing.
What was the laughing about? I have the memory of a goldfish.
Oh.
Hey, it's also pretty late. You got some
Yeah,
excuses.
that's true. Oh, and Jasper donated.
Oh, cool.
Some familiar names that popped along.
Well, if you got more donations, we're just traveling to another area, so you can read one.
Absolutely. We have a $10 donation from Stelkin53. Okami is awesome. I wish I had a PS3 to play this version. It looks gorgeous. Good luck to the runners.
About how it looks real quick. I'm actually playing this game in 720p rather than 1080 because the game actually lags a little bit on 1080p, and that really bothers me, so I tend to turn that off. Oop. So now we're going to go back to Agata Forest, and we're going to clear another dungeon. Well, clear it. We're going to go to another dungeon. Now, the game expects you to do a lot of things here. There's this crybaby over there. Like, you can see him there. He's crying because his his dog is missing and it's gone into the ruins and he wants to fish up the key. And he wants our help for it, but
Eh,
let's just
we have
like
other means.
jump to it.
See if he's got Killstorm Curse or not.
Well,
No, very nice.
I rarely ever get Gilstorm Curse anymore, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Sometimes after like doing so many KTs in a row, you just kind of like, after pausing a bit, you completely lose the ability to KT.
So right there, we actually skipped a cutscene trigger for entering Suda Ruins, which is like, it's like a 20, 30-second cutscene, just scenically showing the entire dungeon. And yeah, that's not really fast. So we'll just jump around it.
Some invisible walls that you got to jump over. Yep. And the reason he's going in here is just to get a power-up that we need called Fine. After that, after he gets that, he's just going to bail again. Don't worry,
Well-
we're not actually going to finish this.
This room is actually to clear up an area so that we can get that, but
Yeah, I have to go through part of the dungeon and actually clear stuff.
Also, the demons there that died were flat. If you use your slips just right as they're spawning, your enemies will just be flattened. Just, it looks funny.
get the cutscene skip for me, okay, Ken?
I'll do my best. Any bets?
Nah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. I don't see the
I'll
problem.
donate $50 if I get it.
Don't miss it on purpose.
I'm not going to.
All right, so after clearing all these demon gates, there's going to be some little mushrooms that spawn, and we had to use sunrise in order to make them grow bigger so we can get up to these pots. But there's a cutscene here that has like barely even a frame that's there, and we have no visual killer or anything. And like, yeah, it just barely pops
Yeah.
up. And
We
so
have-
the best method that we have so far is just mashing for it and hoping. Yeah, it saves like 18, 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
I don't see the problem. I'm consistent.
So the game shows us these pots, and you're supposed to go all the way around, but that takes a while. So we're just going to cut them from here. Second try is good enough for me. And then the game spawns us up here because it thought that we were here, but we weren't. So now we cleared up all the acid liquid from the dungeon, and now we can go into the center of the dungeon, so we can finally get our brush power. To do that, we need to go over here real quick. Whee. So another thing about bloom that we didn't mention is that you can also bloom these patches. I usually count about 6 circles to bloom a patch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And we have to bloom all 3 of these. 6. Ah. Ooh. And then we get another brush power. This one is called... Don't laugh. This one is called... This one is called Vine. You can draw a line from those flowers to certain objects, and it'll pull the objects to you. So. And now we're done here, so we're just gonna leave.
Can do 100 KTs in a row, but cannot draw stars.
Stars are hard, you know. KTs are easy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Drawing stars is very difficult.
Did another KT there to avoid the entrance cutscene for Suda Ruins, of course. So we said before that for Orca the Whale to actually do the event that we need, or for, we need it to be nighttime. So now what we're going to do is go and do that, because there is a consistent and fast way to make it nighttime without waiting for anything.
And while we're traveling, you can do a donation.
All right, sounds good. We have a $150 donation from Anonymous who says, is Amaterasu the best goddess or the bestest? We have a $33.33 donation also from Anonymous who says, Okami is my favorite game ever. So happy to see it this year at SGDQ. Love watching how the times of this game have come down so much over the years. Good luck to the runners and put this donation towards more Tetris.
Alright, so this is where we're gonna make it night. And it's mostly for because of an introduction area to wanted lists, where there are certain special named demons that can spawn, and in order to give a tutorial for that, it has to make it night so it can spawn those demons. Otherwise, the only other way to instantly make it night is to get a brush power up for it, but that's way too far out of the way.
Come on.
Don't get the salvo.
You always try to snipe it, but sometimes it just doesn't want to. And then you just have to use a slip. So it's important that I remember the name of the bandit, because I have to cross his name off the list. And it's always random which name it is. The positions are consistent though.
Shoutouts to not reading the names, which I've done way too many times.
It's more fun in the Japanese version because I can't read Japanese at all. So I have to look very carefully at symbols and oh, that symbol's unique.
Especially for platinum percent.
Where you actually have to do all the what's listed here.
Oh, that was a nice spawn. So we're gonna do this Demon Gate real quick. And the reason why is because it spawns another Mermaid Spring. We used to do this one earlier actually, but it didn't really matter. It's just faster to do it now.
And he's gonna take this one back to northern Ryoshima coast. The map can't quite keep up with all the sequence breaking we're doing.
Yeah, most of the map actually isn't there, despite the fact that we already have Mermaid Springs. Because, plot doesn't matter.
But yo, it's our boy Orca Z.
Also, shoutouts to having Fat Amy.
Fat Amy is the worst.
No,
the
that
best?
Andy is loved.
That's a little early.
You're such a cute pork.
This might be a little early, but we'll see if it works.
So yeah,
a
here
little
we
too
have
far
Orca KTs. Since KTs only work above solid ground, and Orca counts as solid ground, he has to stay above Orca, otherwise it doesn't work.
So we're gonna go over to that guy in the distance. He is the Stargazer or the Watcher, and we're gonna give him a star. And he is going to wish us a galaxy.
And what do you do with galaxies?
Look at how pretty it is. Now the
mean,
problem
yes.
is with this galaxy that it needs to spin. So how do we do that? Well, we summon wind on Earth, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
That's how physics work, right?
Don't worry about it.
And by making the galaxy spin, we create a whirlpool. Now this whirlpool leads us to the Dragon Palace. Let's see, way off.
Yeah.
We try to jump onto Orca in one go, but I put Orca way too far.
Rip ass Orca.
So this is the Dragon Palace. Got some beautiful music.
Beautiful scenery as well.
Now you're supposed to go inside and talk to the queen, and you got a very long story about everything and whatever. But that takes too long. So we're just gonna cut to the chase and go to the water dragon because it's been behaving badly.
Gonna have to play a bit of Doctor with the
No
Also,
water
the
dragon.
water dragon is really long, or is it?
Well, at least not right now.
fair enough.
He
eh?
is feeling a little ill.
Just a little bit.
So going out of bounds is mainly faster there because if you stay in bounds, you actually get a cutscene. So it saves, I think, about 4 to 5 seconds if you go out of bounds. And now we're inside of the water dragon.
Yeah, which didn't look anywhere near as gory as I expected it to.
Oh,
Oopsie. That was slow.
I'm very surprised you got to jump off there.
So we need to grab this key to open a gate. Oh. There we go. Oh, oops, I dropped the key.
Now what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe it'll just reappear back in my mouth? Hey, it does!
That's convenient.
So now we're gonna encounter a little bit of lazy programming. You have to get that dragon orb out, and the intended way is to go all the way to the back and release gastric acid, and then water spout that into the orb. However, the programmers were like, you know what? They're never gonna find a way to do water spout on that, so we just code it as used water spout on it. So with a little camera trick, we skip having to release all the gastric acid. And now we found a reason why the water dragon has been a little sick. It's got demons inside of it.
And what's the best medicine for demons?
Exorcism slips.
Exactly.
So now we're going to get to a little bit of an annoying section. So now the water dragon is going to die, sadly. And while doing so, it's going to release a bunch of acid in drops. And it's completely random where they appear. So we need to get lucky here because I can't dodge.
Nice.
And we got
Nice.
lucky.
Nice.
That is one of the, I think, 2 RNG moments in the game. Ouch.
It can be very brutal. If you get hit, you'll fall down to the bottom. You'll have to water spout back up. I believe this coming up here is one of the only text boxes we cannot skip in the entire game.
One of the few.
One of the few. Yep.
It's also actually part of the preparation for a New Game Plus file. You gotta actually,
Yeah. You have to talk
read through
to-
all of the text boxes. Also sometimes for the failures, in case you, mess something up.
And there's like, actually in both any percent and all brushes, there is one text box I never cleared accidentally, so I always lose time on those.
Just don't hit it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, we just talked to the queen there. We got a premonition of something bad happening, so now we're making our way to that thing. What is the thing, you might ask? Well...
Yes, what is the thing?
What is the thing? That's a good point.
We would have to explain a lot of the plot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's just make it easy. A friend of us is in dire straits.
Yeah. A friend of ours that
And
we've
really
never
like
met is
her
having
'cause
issues.
yeah,
yes.
we really like her because she has really great personalities.
Yes, the personality.
Now, because this is a marathon run, I always like to show off a little very useless glitch that is really fun to do. So we're just gonna do that right here. This serves absolutely no purpose, but it's fun. So, oh, I messed up. So we're gonna grab ourselves a horse, switch KTs, and spin!
That never stops being funny.
It is absolutely useless, but it's really fun to do.
Shout out to useless glitches.
If you have a donation, go ahead.
All right. We have a $20 donation from Bratwurst who says, finally, I can see Okami speedruns live. Okami is the greatest game I've ever played, and so are you guys. Have a $5 donation from Anonymous. Stayed up to watch the run, and it is one of my favorite PlayStation games. Good luck on the run, Kenan. $10 donation from Brian E. Hey, Kenan, I think I may have done something bad. Any idea where I can get a karmic transformer?
A karmic transformer is what you get when you finish the entire game and then start a new game from that one. So,
Yep.
small little tip there.
And the better you do during your playthrough, the more karmic transformers you get.
Yeah, there's one for like each goal that you complete in the game, as well as one for just beating the game, period.
So we got that beautiful shot of a bridge, but we're not going to see that bridge for a while because we are actually entering an area we haven't entered before in a way that the game does not expect us to enter. So this is Queen Himiko's palace. That was the person that we needed the key from to get to northern Ryushima coast, if you're still paying attention to that. And there might be something off here. However, to get to her, we have to traverse a giant pool of lava. Ooh. There we go. Didn't
Nice.
move the
Who needs a fire tablet?
Basically, because lava is a liquid, you can do a liquid KT over it.
Now, I want to note, make sure to listen for the noise during the cutscene coming here. Great sound. It's very nice symbolization with the single hit and her just smacking against the pillar. Pretty much.
Another lava skip on my way back.
Oh.
Really close.
Okay.
Nice.
That was really low. Almost pulled a Kai there.
Oh my god. Then I'm full of Kian, and I'm full of Kai. Good run.
So while we're at Queen Himiko, we got ourselves another premonition. This time the location of the evil doer in this land. So now we're going to quickly go over there because come nightfall, that location will disappear. So we need to get over there quickly. So again, we entered this area in a way that's not expected. So here we have Waka. Hello, Waka.
Hi,
Hi, Waka. Bye, Waka.
And goodbye, Waka. He's supposed to stop you if you ignore him talking the second time, but you can just, if you go the other way, it doesn't really matter. And we're not going to go back here anyways.
That bridge is never gonna get erased, by the way.
Yep.
Yep.
It doesn't get erased in any New Game Plus category.
And if all these people suffering and whatever, well, they can take care of themselves.
Who
It'll be
cares?
fine. Everything will be perfectly fine. Right. So, we're on our way to Oni Islands, which is where we're gonna get another brush power up called Thunderstorm, as well as like deal with the whole boss of the second act.
We're actually going to be the
We're
boss
act-
guys. Are you guys excited?
I'm excited. Woo!
Now, because of the nature of like the positioning of this, the fact that we go into this dungeon with no real way going back, it forces us to complete the entire dungeon before it teleports us back at the end of it.
Also, we got a water dragon for a bridge here. Quite useful, if you ask me.
Not the same water dragon that we killed, it's just
Yeah.
different water dragon. They got a new one. It's better.
I heard they were very expensive, though.
I don't worry about it. It's New Game Plus, you have all the cash you need.
Fair enough. So, instead of doing the dungeon normally, which is boring, we're gonna go slightly out of bounds and walk over these beautiful slopes, which are absolutely horrible.
Shout out to polygons.
Shoutouts to AC/DC.
Where are you going?
Oh no, I lost
Up.
speed. Oh, that's bad.
Very up.
So yeah, if he does this properly, he can make it through this entire thing without having to use KTs at the end to get to where he needs to go. The most important thing is to, you know, maintain your height as well as maintain your speed, but sometimes you can hit like the wrong polygons and your speed's gone.
Now,
And he does a little dash to build it back up.
Well, there's a difference between speed and momentum here. My speed is already gone, but I still have, whenever I use dash, I still can gain momentum. So I'm using that to make it go a little bit faster.
now one thing that he's doing here, of course, is making sure that he jumps as fast as possible, which we can tell with a certain visual cue if we're doing it right. We call it green hopping because all you see is green grass.
And there we go, KT-less.
And yeah.
So yeah, ideally we'd like to just bail right now because we have what we came for, but yeah, we're kind of stuck on a desolate island.
So now we got Thunderstorm, and as you can see, we are now also Thunderbenders,
Yes.
because those exist. So now we're gonna go to the insides of Oni Island. Now the fun thing about most dungeons is that everything is on the same map. So by going out of bounds, we can go into any loading zone we want. Like this one, going into the 2D section.
So yeah, they decided to do a 2D section in an otherwise 3D game, and the controls here can definitely feel a bit wonky as a result.
Because you can still actually move back and forth, and there are actually a few instances where that can be annoying. Oop. There we go.
Key
There we go.
to the door.
So by entering this key, we just started a timer, and I can just take it easy right now because if I go fast, I have to wait anyway. So just calmly walk here, bark a little bit.
Shoutouts to the bark button.
It's the best button.
It is the best button.
You mean the Bork button?
The bork button, my bad. Bork, bork.
Borg.
So here we have these wheels, and for the longest of times, we've been doing one cycle without doing that power slash. But not too long ago, someone from the Japanese community showed us, like, hey, you can just power slash the last one. So for years and years, we've been having so much trouble one cycling, and then now it just became this easy.
Yeah. Like, Kinnan showed me earlier, I was mad. Not gonna lie. Mad that we didn't find that until.
Also, it is time for the best character in the game.
Yay!
This is Toby. Toby, his sole purpose is to race us. So he's a true speedrunner. So we love him. I didn't get the meme restore. Damn. So throughout the entire dungeon, you're actually supposed to raise Toby a bunch of times. However, we only raise him once, and at the end of his final race, Toby dies. But we skip killing Toby, so that's the best part of this run. We don't kill Toby.
Toby will live on.
So now it is time for.
Our first boss.
But wait, wait. It's time for a new brush power? Question mark.
So, yeah, this boss is a little bit conceited. It thinks it's one of the gods.
Become as gods.
Ow.
Oh, that's some bad luck right there.
So the way this boss works is first you need to hit him, and then you need to thunder him. And that way he splits up, and you can, with a slip, you can quickly kill them all, except for one. That was a horrible spawn. And in the first round, it's the fat one. In the second round, it's the old one. There we go. And after doing that, he turns into a normal fox that we can just one-shot.
Bam.
That's Ninetales for you.
Probably one of the most annoying bosses out there, to be honest.
Yet it's the one we have to do.
Yep. So now we get to see Waka again.
Hi Waka, bye Waka.
He says something about lightning in Shinshu Field, so let's check that out.
So now I believe we have every brush technique that we actually need to complete the game.
Yes. So if you've been paying attention, the entirety of the run can be summed up as get double jump, get all the brush powers you need, finish the game.
Pretty much. The place we're about to go to in Shinshu Fields can actually also be clipped into, but yeah, because you don't have the brush power-ups, there's absolutely no reason to do that.
So now we're going to go to the next area of the game. And to go there, we need to do something with that giant statue thing over there. Namely, we need to hit it with thunder. And for some reason, that makes the thing turn, and we get a loading zone.
So now we're going to Kamui, the third act of the Okami story. And like the other acts, we're going to be doing surprisingly little of it because we have everything we need.
You gotta finish the game.
Oh yeah.
So this is Kamui. It's kind of cold. Oops, I should skip
Burr.
that cutscene.
But of course, it's cursed, so we have to go restore it quickly before we can move on.
Some arcades to get out about.
So what you're supposed to be doing is, you see that guy in the distance? He's an archer, and we need to hit his arrow with lightning to free the tree. Now, if I could KT, that would be nice.
But instead, screw that because it's a bit slow, as well as the fact that the tree is actually right down there.
I went a little early there.
There we go.
There we go.
Just
Just gonna bloom the entire rock. It'll turn into a beautiful tree.
Of course, the power of the blooming tree just destroys the rock entirely.
No, the rock became the tree.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's how nature works.
Right. Gotcha.
All right, so here, what we're doing is we're actually jumping over a soft block.
Give me a moment. Okay, we got it.
Nice.
Thank God.
So that's actually one of the scariest points of the run.
Right in there is a fight with a monster that you cannot beat unless you have the power known as Inferno, which we skipped with city checkpoint skip. So,
So yeah,
yeah.
that is probably the most scariest thing to do. So I wanted a little bit of quiet there. But
Very fair.
it
Very
has
helpful.
actually killed very good runs of mine in the past. So
Doesn't help that you take it like super riskily with only like 2 KTs.
yeah, I took it with 3 KTs this time because it's a marathon run. And the one of the things is you could be like, well, you could just like save and restart, right? Well, the problem is that we go by in-game time, and saving and quitting and out and then going back actually meddles with it. So we can't do that. It has to be single segment.
In other words, just don't mess up.
Oh my god. Yay! No, we didn't. What?
Oh.
I thought we got stuck in the gate. What am I doing? Oh my.
I think you need to jump higher.
They secretly patched the gate and made it even higher.
There we go.
That is actually a lot easier than I made it look.
Yep.
So we skipped, I think, just about everything that Kamui has to offer right now. I'm gonna skip more.
Yeah.
So there is another part of lazy programming going on here in this specific room, or area rather, and we're gonna go over there right now.
So this is the Arc, the final area of the game. It contains the boss rush. You kind of do Kamui, and then eventually it'll race. And there will be this gigantic glowing rainbow path leading to it. It looks very epic.
There's a very like moving cutscene as well. A lot of
Many emotions, a lot of story
many
wrap up.
emotions, a lot of characters that we never ever talked to.
Yep. And we're not gonna get to see any of that. There we go.
Yeah,
There's the
left
loading zone.
zone there.
They'll never be able to get there. We don't need to unload the loading zone.
So this is the Arc, and this is Marco. Hello, Marco. Bye, Marco. The Arc is basically a very, very big boss rush. So we're finally going to beat a lot of bosses that you are supposed to have beaten before, but we never have, so. One of the previous world record holders actually called this split bosses you've never seen.
Shout out to Pills.
Pills of Death. So the first boss is Blight. Now you're supposed to have Mist to slow him down, but we don't have that, so we just have to wait for him to do a specific attack. Ouch.
Blight is like related to Whitey and all the people in the city were sick and stuff, but you know, we've never seen him.
Why are you so slow lately? There we go. That was not very good. So that was Blight.
Bye, Blight.
Ooh, really far away.
Next up is probably the most interesting of the bosses.
It's also one of the loudest, so
Yeah.
people on audio, you might want to get ready to turn the game audio down just a little bit.
Yeah. Next up is our boy Orochi, the final boss of the first act that you fight again during the Kamui parts, and then again during the boss rush. And the entire thing with him is that you feed him sake in order to weaken him.
And there's a really awesome strat to do that, which I'm gonna have to focus for.
Game kind of intends you to do it one head at a time. But instead, Ken is gonna do.
But yeah, an interesting thing with the heads is that the stone head there, which just smashes down on the ground, when it's unconscious, any of the other heads can also activate, making it so that we can actually get up to 3 at once, which is exactly the number that we need.
On the final one, I also hit the bell, so I only have to use 1 slip instead of 2. It's very useful.
And there we go. Very nice first phase.
And now for the second phase, we just have to whack the heads. And because we are quite overpowered, we just one-shot these.
This is also the other large point of RNG in the run.
Fire be
Where-
nice.
Oh, that was too late.
Sometimes you'll be charging a shot and fire will just fall right on top of you and the shot will just be canceled.
Like that one.
Yep.
And that was Orochi.
That was a nice fight. Good job.
And the game audio can be turned back up again. Perfect. Thank you.
Next up in bosses you've never seen before is the boss from the Tsuda Ruins, where we got the Vine power-up. And that's exactly why we need the Vine power-up, because you needed to beat the boss. There's a big spider.
I actually really enjoy doing this one.
Yeah, it's a fun strat. Use the flower to pull yourself over to the back. No need to walk. There you go. Gotta get 3 finds onto the boss to make her vulnerable, and then 2 slaves will do the rest.
I would like to point out, in my first ever playthrough, I didn't know you could just hook, you can just vine the hooks from the very beginning. So my first time trying to beat Spider Queen, it took me half an hour to do so.
Damn.
I'm very embarrassed about that now.
Which is why, obviously, you should share it with hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Of course, it's fun.
So next up is the most riveting boss battle of this section. It's very intense. This one is the boss at Gale Shrine, known as Crimson Helm.
In case you forget which one Gil Shrine is the one where we spent 8 minutes doing KTs.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see much of the actual dungeon. Also one of the easiest bosses.
There we go.
Literally free.
Riveting, as I said.
You'd be surprised how often I mess up that series of inputs, though.
Just do stuff out of order and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I start with slip rather than using the glaive.
Right.
So that was the end of bosses you've never seen before. Because the final boss is a boss that we've actually done.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's
it is.
Ninetales again. Oh.
Boy, am I happy about that.
Oh yeah. And the strat's the exact same.
So, if you got a quick donation, you can probably get one in.
Lightning. Hit the fat one. Slip.
The spawns for where the fat one and the old one are basically the same every time, so just need to learn them. Now for a different strat, rather than one-shotting him, we slip first. This is mainly because we cannot time perfectly when he is hittable. So for safety, we use a slip so he stays in the same spot, so we can then one-shot him. Makes life easier. Back in the day, we did used to do the risky strat, but it was just really annoying to have to deal with him just jumping around all the time.
At the end, so you also make sure not to stand like directly on the portal, otherwise you got like kind of move off and move back on before it will work.
So now that we've beaten all the bosses, we get a new portal. So this portal leads us to the final boss of the game.
And this fight breaks my heart every time.
Yes, it breaks every runner's heart.
It's a really cool fight that puts everything you've learned and all the brush powers you have to the test. But we have slips.
Yes. So the idea of the boss fight is that from the very beginning, you've lost all your brush powers again, and you need to hit Yami, as this boss is called, a certain amount of times to get your brush powers back, like so. Now he has 5 phases, and every phase he gives a certain amount of brush powers back. The problem is, however, that we deal so much damage that it just becomes an auto-scroller,
Pretty much.
which is really sad. Like, a tip for anyone who wants to play this game for the first time, please do not use slips on this fight at all. It is the worst thing you can do.
Phase 1 done.
So for phase 2, it's gonna get even more ridiculous.
The slips will come in later, by the way. It's just the first few. It's better to just use the seed spam.
Got it. So yeah, as you can see, Yami has no health right now. But we have to wait to go through all of these phases of getting our rush powers back before we can continue on, which is a little bit sad.
Bork. Audience be borking. Bork. Bork.
Bork?
Bork.
Or so now we've finished this phase with a little love tap.
Some Borks.
And now we're gonna go to the next phase, which is a slot machine. And we're gonna rig the slots. And we're gonna do that by using 5 exorcism slips.
Now, the first time I saw this in a run, I was actually really impressed. Like, wow, they're so good at the slots.
Bam!
Turns out they're entirely based on the health.
First try.
Everything I said is a lie, Kingdom is a god at the slots.
Perfect RNG every time.
I actually thought it was a timing thing.
Trying to put out the fire there.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
And one nice thing about Yami is that he's so nice that he actually gives us the powers that we skipped out on.
Yeah, we can actually use the powers he gives us right now, which is really funny, even though we've never actually gotten them in the actual game. So now we're done with this phase, and to finish it off, in style, we're of course going to use another slip. And this is going to be the saddest phase of them all. First, we're going to use 2 slips. And then,
What you gonna do next game?
well, we're going to use 2 more slips. Amazing.
Yes.
What's happening next?
Well, wait and see.
I can hardly contain myself.
For my next trick, I will use 2 more slips.
But are you
Never-
going to use
never
2 more
really got
slips again?
Maybe.
I mean, come on. Switch it up a bit, man. Come on.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it's getting boring.
Instead of 2 slips, this time I will use 3 slips.
Ah, close enough.
That works.
So now we're getting to the final phase.
Which also means the time is coming up.
Blink and you'll miss it. If I can hit it. And time.
Time.
Now, in our community, we actually go by in-game time, so this is the only thing that's important to us.
126. Very nice.
That's a good run.
It's a really good run.
So we also have to skip the final cutscene and the credits, which is really sad because the credits are awesome. But yeah, that was Okami. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Pork.
Up next we have Strider, I think, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for watching and keep donating.